What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the show. In today's episode, we're going to be doing some scouting around Hat Island. Oh, there's Oreo. Oreo the seal. Alright, back to the show. I'll also ram a bunch of small branches and twigs that I couldn't see as I was ripping along. And then I'm going to head back to the boat launch in an effort to not get rained on when we're done. I'm currently at the Everett boat ramp. Actually, I think it's the largest boat ramp in Washington. I'm just getting set up here. Oh, here's Oreo again. He's a good seal. Alright, here I am exiting the boat launch. I didn't show how I turned the boat around because it's pretty embarrassing. I used to have a bigger boat. It was permanently moored on the water, and so I'm kind of getting used to the boat ramps. Here's a quick look at the boat ramps. It's got, I think, 12 lanes, with half of them for departures and the other half for removing your boat. Alright, immediately after turning left from the boat launch, we have the Miserable Mile, which takes us out to Puget Sound. On the right is Jetty Island. On the left is the marina, and then behind the marina is actually Naval Station Everett. Towards the end, there's some military boats and whatnot. Sometimes there's destroyers that are docked up. To the end of Jetty Island is a sign saying end of no wake zone, and then you can speed up. It's quite a ways away. On the left-hand side, there will be a Coast Guard vessel, which also signifies the end of the no-wake zone. A long time ago, I was out here crabbing from the pier, and we saw these harbor seals. Looks like it's got a cookie and cream fur pattern, and my kids named the seal Oreo, so that's his new name. Every time I see one of these guys, it's just Oreo. So there's Oreo. Alright, let's get out of here. In the distance beyond that bulk freighter is Hat Island, although it's labeled on the map as Gedney Island. Yeah, so funny story. I was planning on doing a lot more narration in person on the boat, but my main camera had the SD card left at home, so couldn't use that. So we're just using my 360 cam and this backup camera for some of the footage. So this is around 9:30 in the morning. The conditions were great. It was super flat. I was able to just be really comfortable getting out there to Hat Island. The conditions definitely got worse at the end of the day, but I got out just in time before the wind started really blowing. Okay, so I finally reached my location. and I was doing some scanning with the sonar when I saw that cloud down there. That looks promising. I'm not sure if it's shrimp or if it's bait fish, but I marked it anyways. I then proceeded to look into some of these little troughs or ridges going down. These spot shrimp like to hang out around 220 to 350 feet, and I wanted to find something like that where I could drop my trap with 400 feet of line and not lose it, but also score some little shrimps. So I sped up and I moved to this other location. There's no video footage of it, but I do have the map that I was recording. Let's take a look. Alright, so I got to my new spot, switched it over to the traditional view so I could see the whole screen, and I saw some life down here. As we all know, the sonar on the right hand side is the live view, everything to the left is the history. So it looks like, I don't know what that is, but it looks promising. So I went ahead and marked it. I'm no expert at this stuff, so if you know what it is, leave it in the comments and I'll read it, and then obviously that will improve my skills with this thing. Alright, next up, while proceeding north, I noticed these returns on the sonar, and I'm not sure what it is, so again, leave a comment if you know what this is, but I figured I'd mark it anyway just for checking out sometime. Could be a school of bait, could be weeds, I don't know. As I continued moving forward, I saw this big cloud, and bingo, this was something I wanted to mark. I don't know what it is, but I'll try catching it sometime. You can see the cloud's pretty large. Okay, here's another anomaly. We have the hard bottom down here around 300 feet, and then all of a sudden it gets soft, or perhaps it's a school, maybe shrimp. It was interesting enough that I marked it because this is the kind of location, if you notice the map here showing these depressions going down to 354 feet. It could be an interesting place to shrimp. Anyway, let's just get this place marked for checking next time. And let's start heading home because the weather is starting to turn. Alright, I'm heading back southeast towards Everett to the boat launch. You can see the last part of Hat Island on the right. As I proceed here, the water is a little bit rougher. Looks like we have some bow seas, so it's coming, the wind is blowing from the right to the left on this view, and the waves are coming from in front and to the right, so I had to slow down a little bit, and I tried to change my course to see if I could make the ride a little softer. That didn't work, so I just continued moving in the same direction. There was one more spot that I wanted to run some sonar at, so I was stopped for a couple of minutes. Unfortunately, the conditions got a little bit worse. You could see the rain on the horizon. It still was not over Puget Sound yet, so I had enough time. we made it back. I'm just pulling up in the truck here. Obviously, I'm an expert at backing a boat trailer, so there's nothing to see here. Yeah, well, now I feel like I gotta prove it, so since I said it, I'll leave the footage in. I did fine. Sometimes I'll just pull the boat in with the ropes, but since I was so far, I was thinking I'll just drive it in. So I'm just going in and out of gear, not going too fast. While I'm loading this thing up, hey, if you like this content, I really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. I'll keep making stuff like this. Leave your comments if there's something else you want to see. Totally open to making some episodes. Coming in nice and smooth. So I got everything snug, and then pulled the boat out, and then took a drive to the end of the parking lot where the freshwater washdown is. Unfortunately, the water's not running, so I had to take it home and flush the engine after this. I didn't record that. I probably should have. Next time. After I got over to this part of the parking lot, I disassembled everything on the boat, like the canvas, all the bimini, threw all the lines in, and had a nice trip home. See you next time.